This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn. During the next 2 hours, we're going to take a look at a variety of health topics ranging from organizing your life to wealth, building wealth to be healthy. I like that one. We're going to be talking about a wide variety of things. Robert Clancy will be joining us in about a half hour. We've got many things to talk about today, and we're looking forward to it. We start with an old friend. Well, he's not old. I am. His name is Dr. Nick Delgado, the Dr. Delgado. Nick, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Hey, it's great to be with you, Mark. I have so much to share with your audience since the last time we did a show together.
It's been a couple years. I couldn't believe it. I looked it up yesterday. Year and a half or something. Something like that. Anyway, we're going to talk about weight loss, and let's give a brief overview of Nick. You are the epitome of health. I've seen recent pictures of you lifting weights that it would take Daryl and me together to try to lift them up.
And a tow truck.
There's no question. And if I may say, you're over 60, and yet you're
Correct.
Still competing.
Yeah, last year at the Arnold Classic, I competed in the middleweight division against all categories, won my division, and then I went up against the big heavyweights using 45-pound dumbbells in each hand, and I curled and pressed and exceeded the best number of lifts in the top category. So right now, arguably, there's no one in the world that has exceeded my ability to curl and press a massive amount of weight in a long period of time. In 1 hour, as you know, I broke the all-time world record and lifted 6,560 pounds.
Does it hurt?
While you're in the moment and you're highly focused, my body is taking in all the energy requirements, the water requirements, the breathing. It feels exhilarating. It's like a runner's high, but multiplied by 10. It's just the most amazing, powerful feeling you'll ever experience.
Let's talk about something that we've talked about before, and we certainly have featured it here on Late Night Health, and that is being at an optimum weight. We have a guest who is a little bit overweight, but she teaches exercise to keep the cardiovascular system going. And while weight loss is a byproduct of the exercise and eating right, losing weight, especially, say, after 40, is not easy. Or is it?
Yes, it does get more challenging over the age of 40, and certainly due in part to the massive amount of changes in hormones, the decrease in thyroid, the increase in fat retention, estrogen levels, the decrease in testosterone, which normally builds muscle and helps stave off fat. There's so many different things you need to take into account. And so I've analyzed this over the years, particularly because I am still competing in strength and endurance, and they don't really measure our body weight. They don't worry how big or small we are. It's just how much weight and how long we can lift. But by the very nature of the competition, I come in with ripped abs and powerful thighs and shoulders and arms. And, at the age of 61, when most of my competitors are in their 20s and 30s, it really takes an innate knowledge. And so what I've done is I've put together a talk for you about how to get ripped abs, slender thighs, but a more scientific method, because everyone focuses on weight loss. And I think that word is really misleading, because when people are stepping on a weight scale, they're really only measuring changes in if they stopped eating for several days, they would empty the 10 pounds in their intestines. They might dehydrate their body by eating high-protein diets. They might certainly get in a sauna and try and dehydrate themselves more, because the body is made up mostly of water, at least 75% water. So
I remember the I Love Lucy episode where she needs to lose 4 or 5 pounds, and she steams herself.
Right.
In a steam cabinet is what it was, and she lost so much weight, so much water weight, They had to take her to the hospital, and she didn't get to perform in Ricky's show. Our guest is Nick Delgado, and we're talking about staying healthy even as we age. That's the whole Delgado protocol. That's what you call it. And we'll be giving some information out, and you'll be able to go to our website and get a link directly to Nick as well. We'll give out his websites too here on Late Night Health. Nick, let me ask you, fat content, okay?
Yep.
There's a way of measuring the fat that I have in my body. Is that what's important? Losing that and building muscle?
Absolutely. You really are helping people to focus exactly on what the goal should be, because when you reduce body fat, it is the quickest way over time to reshape the body, because ultimately people don't care how much they really weigh on the weight scale. It's what do they look like in the mirror when they're in their bathing suit, when they go to the beach. What do they look like when they're in an evening gown or a suit? I mean, what do they look like? And
I look great in an evening gown. So does Daryl.
Well, the reality is that we all have a situation that if you just pinch yourself on the side and you can just grab a handful of body fat, you got too much fat. And that's not water, that's fat, And so you can lose water, you can empty the content of the digestive tract by not eating enough fiber. You can do these things, but the fat is still there. So genetically, people are born with a different number of fat cells. So that's why some people could potentially eat a large amount of fatty foods and just kind of fill out and never really look overweight. They're going to look normal, but that doesn't mean their arteries are clean inside. They might be clogging their arteries. But there's other people that genetically are born with 3 to 10 times more fat cells. And when those fat cells enlarge with fat, that individual could look like a sumo wrestler that weighs 400, 500 pounds. But a sumo wrestler got big by skipping meals, what every American does to try and lose weight. They eat only one meal a day, a sumo wrestler, and when they do eat, they binge. They eat a huge meal of a lot of fatty content foods, and they gain a tremendous amount of weight because the body thinks they're in starvation when they eat only 1 or 2 meals a day. You have to nibble throughout the day the way the body was designed. Get lots of rich fiber, water-rich foods, fruits and vegetables and salads and soups, and eat through the day and exercise each day. And the body, along with some hormonal adjustments with certain supplements and herbs, will really start to feel young again. It'll look young again. But you got to set a goal of about 6 months to lose about 50 pounds. I mean, it really takes time. And over a year's time, I've helped people reduce and keep off permanently as much as 100 to 140 pounds. And that can be done.
What about that last 25 pounds?
Well, you're really bringing up a point close to my heart. A year ago when I was in competition and I got shredded like I normally do, just training hard and eating healthy, I experimented, Mark, and I went on what everyone is calling a paleo diet because a friend of mine had started preparing food for my daughter, and I was eating more of the chicken and the fish and the meat and just thinking, well, I'm just eating a little, I'm just having normal portions that everyone else is.
Right.
And it just snuck up on me, Mark. I gained about 20 pounds in 6 months, and it was a rude awakening that the body's never not watching. The fat cells are waiting to just soak up that fat, that grease, that oil from the meat and the cheese and the eggs and the dairy. And I really gained a terrible amount of weight. And so,
but did you gain fat or muscle?
I gained fat. I mean, I know the difference between muscle and fat, and I gained
I've
fat.
known you for 25 years, and you don't have an ounce of fat anywhere that I can see.
Well, now if you look at me now, you would say that because it took me another 6 months to lose it. It took me 6 months to get serious and do the plan as it's designed because, when you're following an anti-aging hormonal program, a lifestyle medicine program which includes whole, fresh foods, unprocessed, and you're exercising and meditating and all these things that people need to and can do, within 6 months, I got back into shape, Mark. I'm in great shape in time for the Arnold Classic this year. I showed up in the best shape again, but it took 6 months, and a lot of bodybuilders know this, and a lot of athletes know it. You don't get in shape in a week or two. It takes 3 to 6 months to really plan out a good schedule, and that's one of the things that our web classes we do for people, they go to nickdphd.com, and we teach at these web classes.
And they're free.
They're free.
They're free. How to get ripped abs and thighs, and how much protein do you really need, from Nick Delgado. That's nickdphd.com, nickdphd.com. Nick, your background includes being an executive with Pritikin, Dr. Pritikin.
Yeah.
Isn't that close to the paleo diet?
No, it's not close at all. Nathan Pritikin was a great scientist, and he learned from Lester Morrison and went on to teach and inspire John McDougall and Dean Ornish and Caldwell Esselstyn, the famous cardiology doctor who has now advocated preventing and reversing of heart disease following this protocol. Even Medicare now approves 12 weekly classes using lifestyle medicine approaches. So there's a whole number of doctors now are finally came aware of the need to eat. Basically, just think of unprocessed foods. The moment
we're going to take some time out. When we come back, we'll continue with Nick, and Nick is going to come back in a while, a couple of months, a couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about vaccines. I'm Mark Alyn, along with Nick Delgado. Please join us at latenighthealth.com. Latenighthealth.com. Lots going on there, including a link to iTunes. You can listen to us anytime you want. All right, Nick and I return. Don't go away. More coming up here on Late Night Health.